Some girls fear failing exam. Others fear not fitting in. But for Hana, it wasn't fear of school that kept her up at night. It was what waited on the floor above her dorm, sealed for over a decade. Good evening, fellow creeps. Welcome to another episode here on Creepy with Coffee. I'm Kim, your storyteller. Tonight's tale is one that slithers down the dim hallways of an old-school dorm, where a new student stirs something that was never meant to be disturbed. A spirit, a memory, a curse, trapped on the 4th floor. Turn off your lights, keep your back to the wall, and listen closely. This is Evil at Level 4.
This is Creepy with Coffee.
Hana, a Form 4 student, had just transferred to Sekolah Menengah Seri Mawar. From the moment she stepped into the school compound, a strange chill ran down her spine. Her heart pounded hard, almost as if it was a warning for her that something bad was going to happen. Because the new home her family moved into was nearly 30 minutes away from school, Hana had no choice but to stay in the dorm. She wasn't thrilled about it, but her older sister, Kak Nadia, encouraged her to stay positive and continued her studies there. Kak Nadia was also once a student at the same school. In fact, she was a well-respected leader, holding the positions of head prefect and dorm leader during her time at Sri Mawar. Hana's first night at Sri Mawar dorm felt cold and unfamiliar. The sound of crickets from the forest behind the building echoed through the silent night. This is what it would sound like. The dorm itself was over 20 years old, and Hana was assigned to the 3rd floor because the 4th floor had long been sealed off. Upon her arrival at the dorm office, Hana was greeted by the warden and the current dorm leader, Kak Lia. Kak Lia gave her a sharp, almost warning look and said, "Don't go up to the 4th floor. If you hear the sound of chairs dragging, pretend you didn't hear it. If someone knocks on your door in the middle of the night, don't open it." Hana just smiled politely, thinking it was one of those old recycled horror stories senior tell to scare new students. She wasn't a child anymore, and she didn't believe in ghost tales. One quiet night, at exactly 2:43 a.m., Hana woke up to the sound of furniture being dragged above her room. It would sound like this: slow, heavy scrapping, then pause, then scrapping again, heavy, moving, dragging of furniture. The sound went on for nearly an hour. Annoyed, she turned toward her roommate, Mira, who was in her deep sleep, seemingly unbothered by the noise. Hana tried to be rational. Maybe it was just the wardens doing a late night patrol. Nonetheless, when she tried to wake Mira up, Mira was still in her deep sleep. The next morning, in the dining hall, Hana asked Kak Lia casually, "Kak, did any of the wardens go upstairs last night?" Kak Lia looked at her with a blank expression, stood up, and walked away without a word. Hana was left puzzled and slightly offended. Who does that? A few days later, as Hana was combing her hair in front of her wardrobe mirror, she caught a glimpse, just in the corner of her eye, of a figure standing behind her, a long-haired woman. She turned around quickly. No one was there. The dorm was completely empty. Mira have not returned yet from sports practice. A cold shiver crawled down Hana's spine. Beads of sweat formed on her forehead. Her heart raced. Quietly, she shut her closet and rushed out of the room. That night, she had a terrifying dream. A soft, mournful voice whispered,
Stay with me. I'm lonely.
Again and again.
Stay with me. I'm lonely. Stay with me. I'm lonely.
The voice grew louder and more urgent until Hana jolted awake, breathless and drenched in fear. From that night on, Hana and Mira began digging into school's dark history. Their investigation revealed that years ago, a girl named Liana had, I would need to use another word here so that I don't get a strike here on YouTube. So, off herself. I think you get it, right? In the very same dorm, on the 4th floor. Liana had once stayed in the last room at the end of now sealed hallway. According to stories, she was a victim of relentless bullying. One night, she was found from the ceiling fan using her school shawl. Since then, the entire floor had been plagued by ghostly disturbances until it was finally closed off for good. Hearing this, Mira became frightened and said, "We should stop poking into this. It's not good to disturb things that are already gone." But Hana was determined. She couldn't rest without knowing the full truth. She begged Mira to help her uncover more about Liana. One night, all students were called to the field for marching practice. Hana was allowed to remain in the dorm due to a persistent fever she had been suffering for a couple days. Lying in her blanket, staring at the ceiling, she began to hear footsteps above her again. This time, the sounds were followed by running and stopping. Running and stopping. And then came the most terrifying sound yet. A woman's giggle. High pitch and chilling, and it echoed through the hallway. Suddenly, the door to her dorm slammed shut. Terrified, Hana struggled to get up and reach the door, but when she tried to open it, it was locked from the outside. Then came the voice.
I'm in bed. I'm in bed.
A woman's wailing echoed from behind her. Hana didn't dare to turn around, but in the glass reflection near the dorm door, she saw her, Liana. She stood behind Hana, her long hair hiding her face, her mouth twisted into a sinister smile. Around her neck, deep, dark bruises, as if something had choked the life out of her. In the reflection, Hana could see Liana's hand resting on her shoulder. Hana screamed and everything went black. She woke up in a hospital surrounded by her family, the warden, and Mira. According to Mira, after hearing Hana scream, the wardens, the senior girls, ran up to her room, but the door wouldn't open. They had to break it down. Inside, Hana was found unconscious on the floor with red marks on her neck that looked exactly like they came from a strangulation. Hana was immediately sent home to recover from the trauma. But even at home, Hana was still haunted. Every night she would hear Liana's soft voice crying, sometimes in her sleep, sometimes while she was awake. Eventually, her parents brought her to Darul Shifa for traditional healing. After several sessions, Hana slowly began to recover. She returned to school a few weeks later to a renewed spirit. Ustaz Raihan, the school's Islamic studies teacher, had already spiritually cleansed the entire dorm with prayers and religious rituals. Since then, there had been no more disturbances. But deep inside, Hana knew some spirits don't want to be forgotten. Hana may have survived the haunting on the 4th floor, but some questions still linger. Do you think the person that is there, it's Liana? Or actually, it's something evil that take place or take form of Liana? If it's Liana, was she simply a restless spirit? Or why did she choose Hana? Is there a reason? Put it down below in the comment section. I would love to hear from you. Once again, thank you very much for watching. This is Kim, Creepy with Coffee, and good night.